Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anselmo Academy of Music and the Arts YouTube channel. We are wishing you a happy 2022 and hope your new year is starting on the right note. And we're going to start our 2022 right. And by being right, I mean with musical jokes, of course. And I happen to have some right here. So, have you heard any musical jokes in 2022 yet? I guess not, and I found some, so here we go. What do you call a cow that can play a musical instrument? A musician. Okay, next one. What type of music are balloons afraid of? Pop music. I'm kind of afraid of pop music myself, actually. Okay, number 3, how can you tell if a singer's at your door? They can't find the key and don't know when to come in. That's kind of a mean one. Well, I didn't write this, so I apologize. Okay, as we prepare for our 4th international youth competition with the deadline for submission on January 15th, which is coming up very soon, we wanted to feature professional young musicians, highly accomplished musicians in 3 different music categories: violin, piano, and guitar. So please help me welcome our guest number 1 is Kearston Gonzalez, 17-year-old violinist, currently in a pre-college program at Manhattan School of Music, where she studies with Professor Chloe Kiefer. Kearston, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Guest number 2 is Sophia Kim, a 16-year-old pianist, student at the Juilliard Pre-College, where she studies with Professors Hong Kwan Chen and Tema Blackstone. Welcome, Sophia. Say hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Nice having you today. And our guest number 3 is Alessandra Sullivan, 17-year-old guitarist who is in 12th grade at LaGuardia High School for the Performing Arts, studying instrumental music and violin. But she has been studying guitar since she is 6-year-old under Professor Michelle Horner. Welcome, you guys. And just a few words about Anselmo Academy. We are in our 21st school year, and we are deeply proud and honored to have been offering music instruction with our signature programs, which are music clubs, if you will, after school type of enrichment programs at local schools, community centers. We also provide instruction to organizations that serve students with learning disabilities. And during the pandemic, we have expanded our curriculum to a variety of musical instruments. Used to be just piano and general music. So we now have violin, guitar, woodwind instruments, musical theater, voice, drama classes, acting, and we also provide tutoring help to those who are interested. Okay, we're also registering students for winter, spring semester as we speak, and you can inquire about it by going to our website and click contact us with any questions. Please also subscribe to our YouTube channel, TikTok, and other social media platforms. Comment and post any questions. We also wanted to encourage all of you to subscribe to our e-newsletter that you can find subscription on our website, bottom right, just by entering your email address, and it comes out just once a month. And you can easily unsubscribe if you're no longer interested in communicating with us. Okay, without any further ado, we're going to take a very short musical break before we meet Kearston. Wonderful. Can we please have Kearston professional picture on the screen as I read her parts of her bio and her accolades? Wonderful. Kearston Gonzalez is born in Panama City, Florida. She had started violin studies at the age of 3. And after receiving first prize at the Rondo Vanguard competition, she made her wild recital hall debut at Carnegie Hall in March 2019. She was also first prize winner of the Manhattan School of Music Pre-College Philharmonic Strings Concerto competition in 2020 and a semifinalist in the junior division of the Sphinx competition in 2021. Kearston was also a prize winner in Anselmo Academy third youth competition that took place in January 2020. And we are going to play first video that we have from Kearston called Subito by Luraslavsky that was written in 1992. Take a look. Fantastic. Really, really great. We are moving on for now to our guest number 2, Sophia Kim. Can we please have Sophia's picture on the screen as I read her bio and her accolades, please? Wonderful. Sophia Kim is from Wayne, New Jersey, and she had started playing the piano at the age of 4, and she received her first piano lessons taught by her mother. Sophia is the first prize winner of the 2021 National Young Virtuoso Recital Competition, the 2019 Steinway Piano Competition, 2018 Juilliard Concerto Competition, and was a finalist at the 2021 Lyra Competition and a semifinalist at the 2020 West Virginia International Competition. My gosh. She is also the second prize winner of 2020 Virtual Steinway Piano Competition, 2018 Camerata Artist International Competition, and a silver medal recipient at the 2018 Bravura Philharmonic Young Artist Concerto Competition. She also won honorable mention at the 2021 Joseph Israel Bookstaber Memorial Competition and the 11th Chopin International Piano Competition. She is also a multiple-time first prize winner of the New Jersey Music Teachers Association Young Musician Competition and the Music Educators Association Competition. Wow. Great. Okay, we're going to play Sophia's featured video number 1, which is Mendelssohn Capriccio Brilliant in B minor, opus 22. It's actually was written in 1832, the year that Mendelssohn met Chopin in Paris during his stay there. Take a listen. Fantastic. And for now, moving on to our guest number 3, Alessandra Sullivan. Can we please have Alessandra's picture on the screen as I read her bio and accolades? And Alessandra has a different career path, which you're going to learn in just a second. Wonderful. Alessandra Sullivan is a classical and jazz guitarist from Brooklyn, New York. She had been studying Suzuki guitar since age 6 under Michelle Horner, and she is now in 12th grade in LaGuardia High School. She is a member of the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music Teen Guitar Ensemble, which performs for charity and at street fairs around New York City. In 2018, they traveled to Lombardy, Italy to take master classes with Nicola Pignatello and Danielle Sardone, which is called Duo Scarlatti. In 2020, Alessandra participated in both the Eastern Music Festival and JCC CC Thornauer guitar master classes. And last summer, she participated in Northwestern Summer Guitar Workshop. And I believe we have a video from that workshop. Alessandra has performed twice in her school talent show called Rising Stars and is also a member of the NYC Jazz Standard Youth Orchestra, as well as the Fat Afro Latin Jazz Cats Big Band. Try to say it fast twice. Also Latin Jazz Alliance. On weekends, you can find her in Prospect Park playing in her jazz quintet. Besides her accomplishment, Alessandra also was among prize winners at Anselmo Academy 2020 third youth competition in guitar category. And I also wanted to mention that she serves executive board member of an organization called Crafters for Creativity, which is a registered 501c3 nonprofit bringing free arts education to children ages 5 to 14 across New York City. And we're going to talk to each guest in just a few minutes. But first, we're going to play Alessandra's video number 1, which combines 2 pieces. It's J.S. Bach Prelude BWV 998 and Suite del Recuerdo by Jose Luis Merlin. Take a look. Wonderful. Congratulations to all 3 of you for being such wonderful, accomplished artists that I'm sure is a motivation to so many young music students. So next part of our broadcast is the dialogue. We have asked each one of our guests to submit 2 questions or 2 topics for our discussion today. And so here we go. We end up with 6 different topics to discuss. Number 1, practicing tips. Let's start with you, Kearston.
Practicing tips. I would say the 3 things that I do on a daily basis that help me practice: playing really fast passages really slowly and like probably upside down because changing the bowing helps. Playing them with slurs also helps, and making sure to go in with a tuner and metronome. Those are really good practicing tips.
Fantastic. Great. Let's move to Sophia.
What I usually do is I usually record my lessons. So before I practice, I usually listen to my recordings and like put little notes in my music and make a little mental plan of what I want to go over that day. And that usually helps me make sure I work on the stuff my teacher wanted me to look into.
Great, excellent. Alessandra.
I agree a lot with what Kearston said. I think going really, really slowly is a great tool for practicing because if you're going really, really slowly, it can sometimes be harder than just playing it faster because your brain kind of goes on autopilot. And another thing that I do a lot is I record myself when I'm practicing and then listen back to how I sound because sometimes listening to a recording is different than listening to yourself when you're in the moment when you're playing, and you might hear things that you wouldn't otherwise hear. So that's really helpful for me.
Absolutely, great answers. Okay, number 2, how to stay relaxed while performing. I'm going to change the order a little. Sophia.
What I found really helpful is sometimes like deep breathing or doing some stretches or like saying some thinking positive thoughts help. But like during the performance moment, sometimes it helps to like almost pretend that you're completely relaxed and imagine like you're like the best player in the world and you have nothing to worry about. Like even pretending that makes me feel like even a little bit more relaxed.
Great. Alessandra.
I think that breathing is just the most important one. And sometimes when we're performing or playing, we definitely forget to like take breaths. So even though I'm not like a wind player, sometimes I actually write in my music like breathe in certain parts, which is actually really helpful sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Kearston.
Yes, I agree with you both. Breathing is very important while performing. And I've also found that pretending I'm in a practice room while performing helps with the nerves and keeping calm and relaxing on stage.
Wonderful. Okay, moving on to question number 3. What is your most memorable music experience? Alessandra.
I think my most memorable music experience is probably the first time that I went out and I played music with my friends after the longest part of the pandemic.
Mm,
Like we went out in Prospect Park and played some jazz, and it was the first time that we played with other musicians in such a long time, and it was really amazing. And you could tell because there were so many people who were like walking by, and it was probably their first time hearing live music also, and it was just really a memorable experience.
great. Kirsten.
I'd say my most memorable performance was probably when I got to play with my youth orchestra for the first time when I was 9. I was super excited. It was my first concerto by Vivaldi, and it was my first like major performance. And to this day, it's still one of my memorable performances.
Fantastic. Sophia.
Mine was actually the video we watched just now of me. It was my first ever performance as a soloist with an orchestra. And that was kind of like my dream when I was like starting music. So I was super excited and nervous, but getting on that stage and everything after that, I have really positive memories from that moment.
Wonderful. Okay, moving on to question number 4. How did your musical journey start and why did you pick that instrument of choice? Mind you that we will talk about that during your next stage of our broadcast, but so share just briefly. So I'll repeat, how did your musical journey start and why did you pick that instrument of choice? Let's start with Kearston.
My musical journey started when I was 3 years old. I received a violin for Christmas one year, and soon after that, I began lessons. So I didn't get to pick my instrument, but it's worked out the best.
It worked out for you well. Okay, great. Let's see, Alessandra. Well, you're a multi-instrumentalist, but let's focus on guitar.
When I was 5 years old, my mom took me to the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, And in their Suzuki program, with really little kids, they kind of bring you into a room with a bunch of instruments, and they're like, which one do you gravitate towards? And 5-year-old me was like, oh, I like the violin. It's really small and looks fun. But then my mom basically decided, no, you're gonna play guitar. So that's how it started.
It also worked out well for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Sophia.
I guess it's like kind of funny how I got started on it. My mom is a pianist, so she'd always spend like time like practicing the piano. And I almost got jealous of all the attention it got. And I was like, what's so special about this that it gets more attention than me? So I like went on and like tried playing it and instantly fell in love. So that's basically how I chose the piano.
Great. Okay. Question number 5. Importance of collaboration as a musician. Let's start with you, Alessandra.
I think that it's really, really important to collaborate with other musicians, like both within your style of music and and outside of your style of music, because just every single different person has a different way that they take to music, and there's just so much you can learn from playing with other people. Yeah.
Wonderful answer. Sophia.
I think collaboration is great because you'd be surprised how many different ways there are to phrase certain things and make different colors and like harmonies stick out in voices. So when you collaborate, you get new ideas that you never thought before, and then you can use it in your own like solo works or also other collaboration.
So true. Kearston.
Yes, collaborating with other musicians is great because you can hear other opinions, other ideas about how the music is supposed to go. And sometimes you learn more about yourself playing with others than when you're just playing by yourself.
That is very true. Excellent answers. And the last question, importance of exploring different genres as a musician. Let's start with Kearston.
Exploring other genres of music. The video that was played earlier was my first experiment with a more modern piece. So I'd say playing different genres and different eras of music can really show a lot about you as a person and as a player, because you might find that you like playing modern music more, and other genres can show you a whole lot about yourself, which is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Sophia.
I think as Kearston said, I think playing different genres brings out different parts of you as a musician and requires different types of skill sets and different types of thinking. So in a sense, it's kind of similar to collaboration. You're really experimenting with new ideas.
Absolutely. Alessandra.
I think that exploring different genres is really, really important. And also, Kearston, I just want to say that that piece that you played was so, so cool. But in my experience, I started playing classical music when I was really young, and that was kind of all I had experience in until basically high school. And I was kind of scared to explore like jazz or more contemporary music. But what I learned was that everybody who has a different background like can bring something else to another genre. So like just in terms of like classical guitar to jazz guitar, like I have like different technique than maybe some of other like jazz guitarists. And I think that everybody can bring something else to a new genre, which is really important. And also like you can just like different genres, you can learn so much from, like every other genre has a different thing you can learn from it. Like maybe like exploring improvisation can be so important to make you like a well-versed musician.
Absolutely. Great answers, you guys. Thank you so much. We're now going back to Kearston, and we're going to have conversation with her where she would share with us moments of her life through pictures and also another video. So you already told us how it all began. So tell us so from 3 years old, take us to, I guess, current situation where you're at Manhattan School of Music. So tell us how that progressed from 3-year-old first lessons in violin to where you are now. What took place in between?
So I started private lessons when I was 3. And since then, it's just been a lot of private lessons, a lot of coachings, many summer music festivals. And when I was 14 years old, that was when I auditioned for the Manhattan School of Music pre-college and Juilliard pre-college. And I got into both, but I really wanted to study with Dr. Chloe Kiefer at the Manhattan School of Music. So I chose the Manhattan School of Music, and it's been my home ever since.
Fantastic. And so tell us about maybe other subjects you are taking at Manhattan School of Music. I think that's important because a lot of, I think, parents and children would like to know, what is the curriculum like? You only go on Saturdays, right? Assuming we are not in pandemic and remove the Zoom situation out of it. So you go on Saturdays. Just take us through your day. What is it that you do there?
Okay, so this year, my schedule starts at 10 a.m. I have chamber music coachings for an hour, and then I have my private lesson with my teacher. At 12, I have audition technique and preparation, which is a course that helps all of the kids in it learn how to audition properly. And it's kind of like a prep course, like a crash course before we have to do all of our live college auditions. At 1, I have another class. It's ear training. It's just a lot of singing and sight singing. At 2:15, I have theory. And then at the end of the day, I have orchestra for 3 hours.
Wow. So it's from 10 a.m. till
6 p.m. And I have to go now. I'm so sorry. But
no problem. Yeah, so Kearston is in the middle of a rehearsal with orchestra today. So she's going to pop in and out. So we're going to take a pause. Let me just mark this down where we are. And we are going to move on to Sophia. So Sophia, we already know that your mom was the one who was your first piano teacher. So tell us about your first piano lessons and then your audition to Juilliard pre-college.
Well, I mean, they started out very small, I learned note by note, but then I eventually progressed into more advanced pieces. In terms of getting into the Juilliard pre-college program, I actually wanted to initially go for violin instead. So I auditioned, and then I decided maybe I could also audition for piano just to see, just curious. I didn't really have intentions on going for piano. I didn't make it to the live audition for violin. I was pretty terrible, but the piano, I made it to the live audition. So I decided to give it a go, and I actually got in. And so I was like, oh, why not? And then from then on, I really fell in love with the piano, and I continued exploring it more. And yeah, that's where I am now.
And so you started Juilliard pre-college at what age?
I think my first year was when I was in 6th grade. So I think 11 or 12, not really sure. Yeah.
Okay, great. And you also just go on Saturdays, correct?
Yeah.
And can you tell us what your schedule is like on Saturday?
Sure. So at 11, I have my private lesson, and then I have a chamber music class where I'm in a trio, and then after that, I have a class called Piano Performance Forum, which is basically an opportunity for us pianists to just practice performing for each other, because we don't have an orchestra class. That's kind of what we do instead. And then I have like my break, and then I take my theory and ear training classes. I have another chamber music class. Actually, I'm in a piano duet with one of my best friends. And then I have my studio class, and then my day ends.
Great. So it's from 11 till?
I think 7, yeah.
Okay, great. So busy day. Very busy day. Okay. And so you've studied with the same 2 professors who are a couple, and they work together, and they've taught, many wonderful young pianists. Have you studied with them from day one that you've been in Juilliard?
No, I actually started studying with them, I think in 2020, I think. Yeah, I was looking for a different teacher and they were amazing and they were so great. They really invest a lot of time in their students and they really help you develop as an artist. It's amazing.
Great. And so tell us about your competition wins, which is so many. You must feel really extremely accomplished. Do you? Tell us a little bit. So I guess my question would be, how do you think that this experience of being in so many competitions, how did it change you? Did it change you, your mentality, your mindset, your approach to piano and being a professional? How do you think it affected you?
I think there's definitely a whole other state that turns on in my brain. I think as a performer, I'm different when I practice and when I go on those competitions. I think through all that time, all that stress, you know, everything getting nervous before going on stage has kind of helped me deal with like stressful situations a lot better, even like outside of performing situations. So if something bad happens, I'm able to deal with it more calmly and kind of stay calm under pressure. I think that's like something I gained from competitions. Yeah.
Wonderful. So now we can go to Sophia's photo gallery. Are we ready for that? And as we show your pictures, tell us a little bit about each one. Sophia, go ahead. So cute.
I'm not really sure when this was taken. I'd say like 4 or 5-ish. That's one of my favorite dresses. I'm not sure what the fabric is, but it was so soft. I always like to touch my fingers through it. I actually love dresses and I loved them when I was like a toddler. I would love just like spinning around in them and running around in them. So as you can tell, I was really happy in that picture.
Wonderful. Next.
This is me in a hanbok, which is like traditional Korean like dress. And this was at, I think probably like a Korean New Year's party at my grandma's house. And I also love that hanbok. It's really beautiful. I think I got it from my grandparents from Korea. So I was really happy to wear it. Yeah.
Do you wear it just for New Year's or is it just, tell us a little bit about the outfit. Is it, what occasion do you wear it at?
Yeah, usually we wear it for New Year's. I think there are other occasions probably you can wear it for. But...
Great. Okay, next.
Okay, that dress, actually, I think they're all the same in those pictures. That was probably my favorite dress. This was from kindergarten. And this was when I started to kind of perform in some little recitals and things like that. The one you see me with that little holding the certificate at the very bottom, that was like one of my favorite like performances because I got to go backstage in a hall and that was where all like the older, like I guess for my age, like all the cool like teenagers were hanging out and they were like putting on makeup and doing things like that. And I thought it was like so fun, like watching them like help each other out and like wearing all these like splendid dresses. And I was just so excited to be backstage with them because I thought they were like so cool. So I remember that one and I just loved it. I felt so proud wearing my own favorite little pink flower dress.
Beautiful. Next.
This is me in a mall. I found these sunglasses and I thought it looked so cool in them. So I just took a nice little pose in front of my parents as they took a picture. We did not get the sunglasses, but they look pretty nice. This is actually last fall. I was on the tennis team with my friends, and this was during our county tournament finals. And this is my first year on like varsity tennis, so I was like super excited, and we had such a blast together, and that was a memorable moment because In my I guess division you say for third singles, I actually won the finals, so I felt really happy, and my team was there to support me. So that was just us taking a picture together after the tournament ended.
Wonderful. Next.
So this is actually I'm actually the founder of a nonprofit called Zooming Through Music, which is basically where we seek to outreach to people in social isolation by performing music. So yeah, this is an assisted living care center, I think, and they had this wonderful new renovated hall, and this is actually part of the group of performers that came to play some music for them, and we just took a picture after.
Fantastic. You didn't tell us that in your bio.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what you wanted me to include.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
yeah.
Next.
This is actually the full group of performers, and that was the hall. It's a very nice hall, and as you can see, we're a very diverse group of people, and it wasn't just pianists. We had a clarinetist, and we had a lot of singers, people interested in just singing in general, and also musical theater. So we had a nice diverse program, and it was really fun.
That is great. Really. Next.
That was again with the same video that we watched at the very beginning. That was me after my performance, and they gave me a little dressing room, which was really psyched me out. So after I got over my nerves, I was super happy. I had my flowers, and we just took a picture in front of it, so I'd remember this day. It's very memorable.
Great. Next. Oh, that's it. Okay, wonderful. So now we're going to play video number 2, where Sophia is performing Arensky piano trio in D minor, Opus 32, movement 1. And can you please tell us who you're with?
Yeah, so the violinist is Liu Chen, and the cellist is Jenny Zhang, and we all met each other at pre-college together, and yeah, we were just friends, and we just started to get playing together, and that's how we got started on this trio.
Great, let's take a look. Wonderful. Excellent. Anything else that you can share with us, Sophia? We basically have no more questions for you, but anything maybe you'd like to share about your experiences during the pandemic, how that affected your career, your performances, your practicing, anything you'd like to share, that would be great.
Sure. Pandemic is actually when I founded the nonprofit I was telling you about. Actually, during the pandemic, at first, because we had the quarantine mandates and everything, at first I was like super happy because I was like, I finally don't have to deal with people for a while, they're so annoying. And then I think a month in, I started feeling sort of like anxiety and some kind of mood swings, and I started kind of hating this. And I felt really lonely and I just didn't know what to do. And then I realized oh my gosh, there's people that are living like this, their whole life or for many years. There's a lot of communities and social isolation. For example, nursing homes is a big example, but there's also hospitals, jails, orphanages. And the only real way for these people to, get sort of a look into the real world was volunteers. But because of quarantine, there were no volunteers to visit them. So I realized if there's any way I could do to help them, I have to try to find a way. And I realized, I have music with me and I have all these friends. I know all these really talented people who also love sharing their music. So I thought, why don't we try to share music to these communities and reach out to them? So I think we started with a small group of maybe 5 people, but we now branched into this nonprofit we are today. And we have members all over the East Coast, and we're continuously expanding.
Fantastic. That's such good news. Thanks so much for sharing. Thank you for joining us. Stay put. As we move at this time, we're kind of experimenting right now as Kearston is not back. So we are going to move to Alessandra. Alessandra, so we know that you started, your journey with studying guitar, but now you move from classical to jazz. So why don't you just tell us about LaGuardia High School and how did you transition from classical music to jazz?
So at LaGuardia High School, you can't actually study classical guitar. You can audition on it, same with piano. You can audition on guitar or piano or probably a bunch of other instruments that are not orchestral instruments, but so they will accept you on just your musicality. But once you get there, you'll have to take up another instrument so that you can play in a orchestra or ensemble. So I had to start the violin in 9th grade. And so I was playing in orchestras and I really liked that, but I just was not that great at violin. And it actually made me realize how much I loved guitar. But I saw an opportunity when I was in 10th grade that if you audition and get into one of the jazz bands, that you can play guitar as your instrument at school, because there's a guitar in a jazz big band. But I didn't really have any experience with jazz. And I guess this was in the March of 2020, so right before the pandemic started. And I thought that I would just audition on guitar and just see if I could get in. And so that's what I did, and I played The Girl from Ipanema for my audition, and I got in, but then school went online, and so I started taking Zoom guitar lessons with this incredible jazz guitarist named Jocelyn Gould, who teaches at this college in Canada. And so she was teaching me throughout the pandemic, and I realized that I really like to play jazz guitar also. And yeah, so now I play both.
Great. We are going to ask you to talk a little bit about the charity, the teen guitar ensemble that you serve on the board. Please tell us more about that.
Oh, so those are two different things. I play in the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music guitar ensemble, and then I also have this nonprofit, but they're two different things. So for the ensemble, it is me and seven other kids, seven other teenagers, and we all started Suzuki guitar when we were really little and started playing an ensemble together when we were really little kids, and then have grown up playing together. And as we've gotten better, we started doing more performances and touring, and it's been a lot of fun to play with these people.
Mhm.
And then
Can I interrupt you just for a second? So, from your bio, is that the organization where you travel to Lombardy, Italy with?
Yeah.
It? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about that trip.
So in 2018, um, our teacher set up this trip for us to go there and take master classes with this amazing guitar duo called Duo Scarlatti. And we got to take lessons from them and play in a lot of different small towns around there. And it was just a really amazing experience because so much guitar music came from Italy. There's not a lot of classical music that was composed just for guitar. A lot of it, like all the Bach that classical guitarists play, it's all like transcriptions. But there's a really rich history of guitar music in Italy, so it was really amazing to go there and play there.
Absolutely. And so now tell us about the Crafters for Creativity, the 501c3.
Yeah. So during the first summer of the pandemic, me and a couple of my friends from LaGuardia were all kind of wondering what to do now that we couldn't like make art together, play music together. And we realized that there's probably so many other kids around the city like us who might not even have like a place to go outside safely, or like they might just be sitting in an apartment with maybe like no outdoor space or anything. And so we thought we could use what we've learned from our art school and start a Zoom summer camp, completely free. So we started doing that we started a 2-week program, and then it actually went really well. So then we extended it. And then when school started, we turned it into an after school program. And now it's a registered nonprofit and going really well.
Fantastic. Really amazing. Let's go now to Alessandra's picture slide gallery.
So these photos took place when I was really little. We would have these Suzuki retreats in Lake George, New York, and so we would go there. We would go there in the summer, and a couple of other Suzuki guitar teachers from around the country would also come, and we would play in different ensembles with a lot of other kids, and it was really fun. Yeah.
And that's your teacher? Well,
That's
no.
my teacher, Michelle. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Great. Next.
That was probably from the same Lake George trip. You can tell we did a lot of tie dyeing up there, a lot of tie dyeing t-shirts.
Excellent.
Yeah, same here.
And so I see there are a couple of adults. Are they guitar teachers?
Yeah,
Or
they're guitar teachers. Michelle is standing in the back row, and then all the way on the right is the Suzuki guitar teacher named Seth Himmelhock.
Mhm.
And I don't remember the name of this other woman, but
Great. So that's a summer camp still.
yeah.
Mhm. Wonderful. And how long is the camp?
I think it is maybe like 2 weeks. I
Okay.
haven't done it in a couple of years.
All right. Wonderful. Great. Next.
This is a photo of during the pandemic. I started guitar club at my school because there aren't a lot of opportunities for guitarists at LaGuardia. So me and a couple of other kids who also auditioned and got in on guitar thought it would be fun if we had an opportunity to meet up and play. So I started Guitar Ensemble Club, where we'd meet every week in the park during the pandemic, and I'd bring music, or someone else would like have something that they wanted to play, and we would just meet outside, and it was really fun.
So that's outside LaGuardia.
It's a LaGuardia club, but we would meet outside during the pandemic because we had
Mhm.
online school. So
Go ahead, next.
this was also during the pandemic. At the Brooklyn Conservatory of Music, we couldn't meet in person inside for the guitar group concerts, and they have these things called festival concerts where all the different ages of ensembles will play, and it'll be called a play down, where the group of like the little kid group will start playing, and they'll play like their Twinkle, and also all the other kids will be sitting up there also playing, and then the little kids would get off and the pieces would get harder and harder until we wrapped up my group. And so this was our first group concert, and we did it outdoors.
Great.
This is a photo from I have a little funk group that I play with, me and two other girls, and we made a little music video a couple of months ago, and it's me on guitar, my friend on bass, and my other friend on drums. So we like to play together sometimes.
And is it the same group where you have an original video that we're gonna play just a little bit?
Oh no,
The
that's a different one.
group? Okay, so let's go to that group maybe, and then we have a little clip of that video.
Okay.
Next.
This was a couple of weeks ago in the lobby of my school, where they started this series called Senior Showcases. And so every week on Wednesdays during your lunch period, some senior will volunteer to go and put on a performance for 45 minutes. And so this was the one that I did a couple of weeks ago, where I just played a bunch of classical guitar music, and it was a lot of fun.
What a great idea.
This was in January of 2020, where at my school has a really big talent show that is kind of competitive. And so me and my friend Shiloh, who also did the Anselmo Academy competition in 2020, we played this Brazilian guitar duet. And when we started, I was sitting in the chair next to her. And then for the last A section of the song, I put my guitar on a stand behind her chair and slid over, and I played the right hand and she played the left hand. And it was really fun.
We'll show the video of that.
Okay.
Do you have any more pictures? If not, let's play. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your original video that we're going to play just a few seconds off? Tell us a little bit about how it came about first.
Sure. So at my school, I'm in this group called New Music Ensemble, and it's basically a group of instrumentalists and vocalists who work together and collaborate and just write original music. And so last year, because we didn't have any school in person, we were working fully remotely. And so we, instead of having a performance, we wrote the music and recorded it, and then had to make music videos for it. And so this was a song that I wrote with my vocalist friend. And we got a couple of other instrumentalists to play on it, and I thought it was really cute.
Great, let's play a little bit of that.
Keep my peace right by my
Fantastic. And we are going to close with the final video whose pictures we just showed from the Rising Stars talent show. And you are playing with Shiloh Gonski. Let's take a look at that. Fantastic, wonderful. I know you've talked already about the pandemic, but maybe expand a little bit on how do you think this experience have affected your music career, your music studies? What have you learned from it? Tell us a little bit more about that.
I think personally throughout the pandemic, I was kind of forced to learn a lot about like microphone setup types of things, like editing, like how to use Logic, that sort of stuff. But also just how much I took for granted being able to play in person with other musicians. And also the pandemic was when I started playing jazz, which has kind of become a big part of my life. And also made me realize how much I took performing for granted and being in front of people.
Great. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. We are going to move on to Kearston and go back to where we stopped. So Kearston, so tell us a little bit about your competition wins, and not so much about where and when, but you know, what this experience of being in competitions have brought into your life. How did it change who you are as a musician, if it did? So tell us a little bit more about that. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yay. I was getting a little worried. Oh no, we lost her. Yeah.
So I think that the preparation leading up to competitions has really shaped who I am as a performer and a musician. I found that the preparation and all the work and time that goes into getting ready for the competitions really helps me move to the next level. And even if the competition doesn't accept me as a semifinalist or it doesn't go as well, I still have the skills and technique that, you know, I got to learn in preparation for the competition.
And this question just occurred to me. Do you think the skills that you learn from being in competition, the preparation, performance, dealing with nerves or what have you, and any of the skills you use in any other aspects of your life, do you? Just wondering.
Yeah. Preparing for competitions, I found that it's taught me discipline because I have to work on every single work of music that I have to prepare for each competition every single day on a daily basis. Oh, sorry, I said that twice.
All right.
And I've also found that competitions has taught me resilience because there are some times when I really prep for a competition and I'm really excited, and then I find out that maybe I didn't place or maybe I didn't become a semifinalist. And there have been moments where I've really thought that I'm not getting better or that all of my hard work has been in vain. But sometimes I feel like losing is better than winning because it's taught me how to become more resilient.
Oh my goodness, these are golden words, seriously. Fantastic answers, thank you. We're now gonna go to Kearston Photo Gallery, and you can tell us as we move through each picture, tell us a little bit about each one. Take a look.
Oh, there we go. This first one is with my teacher, Dr. Chloe Kiefer on the left, and the conductor of Manhattan School of Music Pre-College Philharmonic Orchestra on the right. And this was the concert when I performed Mozart 3 with orchestra in November of this year. Well, 2021, sorry.
And since you're performing today, right?
Yes, I am. I'm performing with the Virginia Symphony Orchestra today at 3 p.m.
Amazing. So we need to hurry up then. Okay, next picture.
The second picture is with my sister. We are celebrating my mom's birthday. So it's just a picture of my sister and I.
Next.
This is a summer music festival that I attended summer of 2021. My sister conducted the violin concerto that I was performing, Mozart Concerto No. 4 in D major, and I'm performing the concerto beside her. So.
Great. And where is it? Virginia?
No, it was in New Jersey. It was
New Jersey.
Yes.
Okay, great.
This picture was my debut at Carnegie Hall, Whale Recital Hall. I played Brook Violin Concerto with my pianist, Sherry Kim. So.
Fabulous.
This is me in France. I went to a music camp last year in Tignes, France, and that was me taking a practice break and eating a mini tart. So.
Nice. Where in France was it?
Tignes, France. It's in the mountains.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Beautiful
Next.
up there. That's a picture of me in Tignes as well, with the mountains, like the landscape behind me. Another practice break. I was going hiking.
Wonderful.
And this picture was after a performance my sister and I did at an international civil rights museum. And we performed Passacaglia by Handel Halverson. So we took a picture after the performance.
And I think we have the video we're gonna play of you two performing the Passacaglia. Okay, next.
This was also a photo from Tignes at Music Alp, the same festival. That was my first performance, playing Subito in front of an audience.
Fabulous.
This was when I performed Mozart 3 with the Manhattan School of Music Philharmonic Orchestra back in November of 2021. So it's a fairly recent performance.
Great.
This was my 17th birthday. My grandparents sent me flowers and balloons. So it's a picture of that.
That's great. Beautiful picture. And now we have a video of you and your sister Kendall performing Handel Halverston Passacaglia. Take a look.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we'll perform Passacaglia by Handel Halverson. Thank you and enjoy.
Wonderful. I don't know if we're getting Kearston back, but it was fantastic meeting all three of you today. And here, yes. Hello. So we are not getting Kearston back? You on mute.
I think she just left to meet with the conductor. So
Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping organize it. Thank you. I wanted to wish all three performers today and our guest a fantastic 2022 filled with many wonderful performances and musical experiences. And thank you for everyone who is watching today for your support in our programming. Have a fantastic the rest of your day. Take
Thank you
care.
so much. Have a great
Thank you for having me.
much. Have